Lock's story, when you look past just the soccer matches and the insulting slurs, is actually incredibly well written and constructed in relation to the connections and concepts. One of the most prominent themes within the story is that our protagonist, Yoichi Isagi, will lead Japan to victory in the U20 World Cup and will eventually become the greatest striker in the world. But when competing for that title with other top tier players like Rin, Kaiser, and Burū, how exactly will Isagi accomplish this? Well, in today's video, I'll be going through every piece of evidence that we know of currently that explains why Yoichi Isagi becoming the best striker in the world just makes sense. Before I do, I want to say that you guys should totally subscribe right now, because this video took a lot of time to research, and you know, it'd mean a lot to me if you guys did subscribe. Also, this is my 10k subscriber special video, and I just want to say thank you so much for getting this channel to 10k. I'll talk more about that at the end of the video, because I'm sure you don't want me to, you know, rant about this for too long, so let's just jump into it. But still, like in all of my videos, I want to leave a spoiler warning for the latest chapters of the Blue Lock manga, and if you have not read the latest releases, I would suggest clicking off this video now if you wish to not be spoiled. I also have a Discord server called the New EOS Geeks, which you should totally join. The link to that is down below. Chapter 1. What it takes. When discussing the topic of Yoichi Isagi being the world's greatest striker, it makes the most amount of sense just given the overall plot of the story. I mean, Isagi is our protagonist. If he just didn't end up becoming the best in the world, what was the point of reading this story? Well, there are a couple of things that we need to address that turn this blank pinboard, or this theory, into something that actually makes sense. I don't even know why I say theory, because it is gonna happen, so let me just explain why that is. The first thing to put on our pinboard is the statement made by Ego at the beginning of the series in his opening speech to the 300 strikers at Blue Lock. Ego says, "I'll say this plainly, only one thing is necessary for Japanese soccer to become the best in the world. The birth of a revolutionary striker." Through Ego's words, he defines that a lone striker is the one who can change the entirety of Japanese soccer. He goes into aspects later about those who score more goals are the best, but that can be simply disregarded for this theory based on the evidence that I will mention later. For now though, we can start our pinboard with Ego's speech and the necessity of a revolutionary striker's birth. Before I continue the video, I have a message for you guys. In this day and age, data security is a massive deal. That's because in 2023 there was nearly $12.3 billion lost in relation to identity theft and online crime, which is why I'm glad that today's video is sponsored by Aura. Aura is a company that is designed to protect you and your information online, notifying you whenever strange activity is detected on your cards or subscriptions. From your credit card information to your social security and other personal data, Aura will always keep you notified and aware of any unauthorized identity thieves or scammers. And trust me, I myself feel a lot more secure about being on the internet, knowing that if something were to happen, Aura would not only let me know, but also help me secure my data in the process. They were rated the best internet protection service in 2023, according to US News, Forbes, and Money. Not to mention, they were a gold recipient for the family-friendly apps in 2024 by the Mom's Choice Awards. Aura has even been so kind enough as to provide you with a 14-day free trial to their platform to give you peace of mind without spending a dime. And if you like the service and the security, you can continue to use their platform for only $12 a month. Not only is that cheaper than most subscriptions nowadays, but you also get the added benefit of online security. So investing $12 a month as to not lose $12.3 billion? Yeah, it's a real no-brainer for me. So stop leaving yourself vulnerable to data breachers and brokers. Use the link aura.com/errorAssassin to get a 14-day free trial and see if any of your data has been exposed on the internet. The link is down below. And if you're interested to see if you're one of the people who just doesn't fall for scams, Aura just launched their new Are You Smarter Than a Scammer quiz. So go ahead, take the quiz and see if you're as savvy as you think you are. Thank you again to Aura for sponsoring today's video, and let's just jump right back into it. The next thing to look at is Yoichi Sai and his remarks towards Isagi at the end of the U20 game. Within Yoichi Sai's appearances in the story, he has numerously stated the drastic lack of worthy strikers. In chapter 4, he states, "I can never become the best in the world playing for a puny country like this. My goal is to win the Champions League. There's no forward in this country who can receive my passes. I was just born in the wrong country." Sai solidifies Ego's statements by saying that there are no worthy strikers in the current Japanese football. Now you need to pin this statement on the board because it is going to have some relevance later. Jumping drastically forward over 100 chapters into the future of the story, we get a dialogue between Sai and Aiku after Sai's goal in chapter 116. "Anyone with lower scoring power than a midfielder like me doesn't deserve to be called a striker." "You're a harsh one, Prodigy. In that case, how many strikers are there in Japan?" "We're playing this match to find out." Sai currently implies that there are no strikers, or ones that have yet to be revealed, currently existing within Japan. But this does also imply that one of these revolutionary strikers could exist on the opposing Blue Lock team. We skip further ahead in the match to chapter 136, where Yoichi Sai appears on defense to intercept Isagi and his play. "I'm surprised that Blue Lock's heart is you, number 11. You've got a nice brain in there. Sai acknowledges that Isagi is the heart of the Blue Lock team, but also mentions his brain and his game IQ. Now jumping ahead slightly to chapter 142, there are two key things to acknowledge here. During Sai's matchup between Yukimiya and Karasu, Sai says something interesting as he weaves a pass between the players. I'm impartial to all proper strikers, and I'll give a chance to whomever is in the hottest position for a goal. As Sai makes this statement, he passes towards the current U20 strikers, Insho and Kitsune Zato. That means at this moment of the game, Sai considers these two players to be proper strikers. But he didn't at the start of the game, so what exactly changed? Well, in the very same chapter, Aiku says something very interesting. The heat that's coming off of Blue Lock is reaching everyone on this team too. Just a lone striker caused the midfielders to awaken, triggered an evolution in our defense, and guided the goalies to the next level. This is the battle that I've been dreaming of. In this match, Japanese soccer will change forever. Aiku is saying that during this game, Japanese soccer took the next step towards the evolution that would change it forever. Now I need you to pin Sai's actions and statements with the U20 team along with Aiku's statement about Blue Lock's heat. And the final big statement from Sai comes at the end of the U20 game. In chapter 148, Sai speaks to Rin after the game about his thoughts on Japanese soccer. I was wrong. I thought Japan could never produce a proper striker. The one who drew out your instincts and who will change Japanese soccer is Yoichi Isagi. He might be the egoist to do it. Japan can still change. Now call it what you will, but I believe the reason that Sai thinks that Isagi will be the one to change Japan was because he was able to draw out Rin's instincts. Or at least that was the final piece for Sai determining that. Now you're going to need to pin this interaction on the board as well, but there's also one more moment. In that same chapter we get some dialogue between Shido and Sai. Hey Prodigy, why didn't you just pass it to the front line right away? We wouldn't have lost if you did. There was only a minute and we would have run out of time passing it around. Going through the others was a bad move. The best option I saw was to pass to you directly. This may not seem to be very important, but the statement of what Sai saw and what he believed seems to be very highlighted here. So I want you to pin this too. Chapter 2, The Awakening of a Prodigy. Now we're going to take another time jump to over 100 chapters from the current point in the story where we learn about ego types. In chapter 254, we learn about ego types and what defines a player's ego. A player's peak performance can be separated into two lone categories. There's world style, also known as holistic egoists, who are players who analyze and understand the situations around them to rationally complete plays that show their value to the world. And the other style is self-style or individualistic egoists, who are players who pursue pleasure in their own plays thanks to their unique weapons. Isagi's example takes the concept of scoring a goal into consideration, while self-style players are, look at me, I scored a goal. World style players are like, look at the goal that I scored. Now this was our foundation for the understanding of play styles for almost 3 months. That is until we got Kaiser's Magnus goal, where we discovered a branching aspect of this classification. Thanks to Kaiser's dialogue with Ness, Isagi was able to understand other aspects that impact a player's ego, that being their situation. With this we learn about two expansions that come off of the self-style and the individualistic style, that being freedom or restriction. Those with the freedom attribute to their egos are players who decide the actions of their plays from several possible routes created thanks to their high analytical skills or playmaking capabilities. And there are those with restrictive attributes who are players who thrive in confined spaces with tasks assigned to them, which can lead them to surpassing their previous selves by shattering those limitations that are placed upon them. We even get a chart that shows a few characters in relation to their ego types. Now this was our new understanding for egos, but like the previous stage, it didn't last very long. Because not 3 months later did we learn about the classification of geniuses and talented learners. What we used to believe were world and self-style plays were actually classifications for the players themselves. We learned from Isagi's analysis of Kaiser, Rin, Loki, and Noah the understanding of geniuses and talented learners. Ego explains his understanding of geniuses and talented learners in relation to soccer and the concepts of evolution. Humans born with traits that others lack have a hard time being understood and live difficult lives. But that might be a gene that will cause humanity to evolve. Those areas of differentiation produce unique expressions of body and mind, and there are some people who can cast those expressions out into the world. And amidst them, there are revolutionary expressions which are suitable for the era and circumstances. And these can change the world's standards. The ones with those seeds are what I call geniuses. Like the explanation of ego types, those who have the title of genius fit the classification of self-style egos. But to present society, that innovation is never something that a genius can achieve on their own. Someone needs to discover the seed, comprehend its worth, and be able to communicate it to the world. By boosting its feasibility and reproducibility, they turn it into a new world standard. The ones who do that are called talented learners. And in relation to ego types again, those who fit the classification of talented learners have a world-style ego. Isagi's understanding of these concepts dives further as we learn that while geniuses may possess overwhelming individual talent, talented learners are not underneath them in a ranking, but rather both are styles of players which stimulate each other in a relationship of mutual development and evolution. And now you can pin this concept. And the most recent stuff comes from the latest chapter, being chapter 291 as of me making this video. In this chapter, we get a lot of moments of people talking about Isagi and their relationship with him. Kaiser says, "When I'm with Yoichi, my shitty past that I've always hated feels strangely meaningful. I'm being affirmed. This is the first time I've ever felt like this." Yukimiya continues, "When I'm playing with Isagi, I realize I can't stay the way I am. I have no choice but to change. And when I face my past self and the ego I'd left behind, it makes me want to find it again. Those of us who stand on the field with Yoichi Isagi know this privilege and cruelty." And lastly, Hiyori finishes it off. "That's right, Yuki. We're egoists who died once and were revived by Isagi. But Isagi doesn't want us to pay him back by playing buddy-buddy. I can have expectations for myself and be newly reborn over and over again. I'm here because Yoichi Isagi taught me that. Isagi is the nucleus of the team, but nobody is fighting for his sake. All of us are fighting as if we were the protagonists here. He draws out our egos. That's Yoichi Isagi's true magic, and the reason behind this team's strength." So the final piece to pin is Isagi's ability, the true magic behind his playstyle. And with that, our pinboard is complete. Chapter 3. The birth of a revolutionary striker. As you can see on our pinboard, it's a lot of random moments thrown together. But how exactly does this justify Isagi taking the title of best striker in the world? Well, let's address everything one by one here. With Ego stating the birth of a revolutionary striker is what can change Japan, many fans have interpreted this as saying a god tier striker can do so. But I don't really think that's the case here. With the performances in the NEL and the U20 game, the attribute that contributes to this title the most is the ability to act as a catalyst for your team. Isagi's ability to stimulate the growth of everyone is what's needed for the rebirth of Japanese soccer. This is confirmed back in the U20 game from statements made by Sai and by Aiku. Because BLUELOCK's heart was Yoichi Isagi, this led to a growth of both the BLUELOCK team and the Japan U20 team. And because we understand the concepts of geniuses and talented learners, in order to actually achieve the title of best striker in the world, you need to be a talented learner. You need to be someone who can stimulate the growth of geniuses while being able to compete with them. Looking at the BLUELOCK 11 team, almost the entire front line of players are geniuses, with Isagi acting as the talented learner to stimulate all of their growth. So in order for Japanese soccer to change with the birth of a revolutionary striker, that striker needs to be a talented learner. This is why Sai acknowledges Isagi as the one to change Japan, specifically because he was able to draw out Rin's instincts. The truth is, the best striker in the world has to be a talented learner. Noah himself says that he simply pursued the life as a striker and was given the title, but he doesn't feel like he earns it. By helping to develop Kaiser, he understands that he needs a talented learner to make him worthy of that title. So despite players like Burū, Kaiser, and Rin all being able to perform better individually than Isagi, what makes Isagi the player with the potential to become the best in the world not only comes from him competing and rivaling geniuses, but his ability to stimulate their growth in the process. His growth is what leads to his own rapid evolution, leading Isagi to be the one with the best chance at becoming the best in the world. And with Sai, by saying he cannot become the best in the world, he's calling the importance of a talented learner striker, someone who can evolve the team and therefore evolve him. With everything that's been shown, Yoichi Isagi earning the title of best striker in the world just makes the most amount of sense. And with that, that is my breakdown of why Yoichi Isagi becoming the best striker in the world makes sense from every aspect of the story that's been revealed. Sure, it's pretty obvious that he's going to, but there are a lot of people who've argued that Isagi shouldn't become the best striker in the world and that him doing it wouldn't make a lot of sense. So that's what this video is for. Aside from that, I hope you guys did enjoy this video and will continue to enjoy it in the future. I also want to say thank you so much for helping this channel hit 10,000 subscribers. It's pretty much known every kid dreams of doing YouTube and hitting this milestone, and I finally was able to do it because of you guys. So thank you so much. I do also want to talk about the BLUELOCK New World movie for a minute. We're currently still under production for the film and it is going amazing. However, our casting call is open for about 1 more week as of this video's release. If you want the chance to voice act in this movie, use the link in the description to view our casting call and submit your applications. And if you'd like to, you can super chat to help donate to the film. It would allow for you to get your name in the credits of the film as a contributor to the project. But please don't feel obligated to do so. Also, join my Discord server to stay updated on the film and also engage with our amazing community. The link to that is down below as well. Big thanks to my buddy Raito for helping me out with this video idea, so go check him out. There's no question of the video this time, so like always, thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe to see more awesome BLUELOCK content just like this, and thank you so much for helping me reach 10K. I'll see you guys in the next video.